What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of the tribe, and how the devil are we all doing today on this fine and fantastic Sunday evening? Welcome back to another Tribe Talks with myself and also Karth. We're here to talk in your ear holes.
I'm here? Oh, shit.
Yeah, supposedly, allegedly.
I thought we were pre-recording this. What happened?
Damn it. God damn it. Hello, Tribe. How are we all? Are we all wonderful? Are we all rested after a nice, relaxing weekend? My weekend wasn't that relaxing, truth be told, but that's okay. How was your weekend, Karth? Good?
I'm trying to remember what I did. Yesterday was pretty relaxed. Today's been busy so far, but that's
okay
because I was really relaxed yesterday.
Fair enough.
It's kind of how it plays out. It's like, you don't do anything for a day. Next day, it's like, yeah, go screw yourself. Now you're gonna have to. Yeah, get busy. It's like, damn it.
Oh, we were looking after kids this weekend. It was quite nice. Mrs. Scribble's best friend was down with her husband and their two kids, and we were looking after them. They stayed at our house, and we took them bowling, and we watched a film and ate junk food. And I made 2 lasagnas because one was veggie and one was not. So I was a busy little housefrau.
Veggies, gross.
Well, I'd argue it's even worse than veggies because it was actually corn mince, fake mince. Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Why would you do this?
No. For people that are vegetarian, I just prefer they commit to the bit, right? Like, don't do fake meat because you're vegetarian. It's like, just don't eat it. That shit's actually arguably worse for you than the thing you're trying to abstain from. Like, I never understood that growing up. I grew up as a meat eater, and I went to a school, Christian school, where that was vegetarian was the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, you just had all the people, but they would just chow down through, Big Frank's, which is a fake hot dog, or Linkas, which is the same thing, and then they got Swiss steaks, which is just fake meat patties and stuff like that. It's just a bunch of stuff that's just like not even close. And I'm like, why try to emulate what you're trying to not have? Like, what's the point? I don't get
it is what it is, I guess. They don't eat meat, so they have fake meat.
Yeah,
that's all I know.
Meat's bad for you, but chemicals, they're tasty. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
But yeah, it was fun. It was a good weekend.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm very tired though. I've also been doing this Raid Shadow Legends tournament, and that is exhausting. It's I'm so stressed, like constantly trying to play that game and develop, and because we are currently winning, and I would like to continue currently winning.
Hashtag crushing it.
Hashtag crushing it. Team Arnold X Scribe, Team 3, Team Kyber Tribe is winning right now, which is very satisfying, but it is very tiring. I'm just like, I must grind more. But there we go.
Man.
Hey, is what it is.
Snapshot in the life of a hooker.
Yep, tell me about it. But yeah, I'm tired. I'm ready for a weekend now. Ready for a weekend off.
Dude,
right?
I need a weekend for my weekend. I'm not gonna lie to you.
100%. But there we go.
On the other hand, my weekend was very boring for yesterday's sake, at least, because I spent most of yesterday starting to watch Frasier.
What? Like all of Frasier?
Yeah, it was season 1.
There's quite a lot of Frasier, isn't there?
There is.
That's a bold choice, Karth. And you could have watched Skeleton Crew. I mean, I'm just saying.
I could have, yeah, but I don't know. The pithy remarks between the brothers just humors me in a special way, and I'm just like, yeah, all right, we can do this. Yeah,
no, yeah. What is it? Miles? Is that his brother?
Yeah, Niles.
Niles, not Miles. Apologies. Yeah. No, I haven't seen it in years, but I did enjoy it.
I swore that they waited a lot longer for Niles to just be a horn dog after Daphne, and it is it is the first episode he is introduced to Daphne. It's just immediately like, homie, you're married. Yeah, but
yeah, but woman. God.
Yeah, but this is new and exciting. I'm not going to cross the line, but like I'm going to get weirdly close to it. and just yeah. Anyways, I find it very humorous because they do a lot of like a lot of the writing on that show is like at least for the first seasons, like they're very aware of who they are as characters, and so they'll make jokes because they're both psychiatrists, and they'll be like, how are you supposed to know the inner workings of a human's mind? And they're just like, do I need to remind you what you do for a living?
Literally a psychiatrist.
Yeah, it's like perfect. I love it. We're leading into this as hard as we are. That's fantastic for me.
Plus, it's a I don't know. There's something about Kelsey Grammer's voice that is just quite soothing. You know?
Yeah, I get that.
He's good like that. He's good like that.
Yeah, I can't. I honestly think the running joke is that you never get to meet Niles' wife the entire show. Yeah. I don't know if she ever shows up before they get separated or divorced or what ends up happening there, but because I know by the end of the series, Niles and Daphne end up married. I'm pretty sure. It's been a fat minute.
Yeah, I only ever watched that very sparingly because it was a cable TV show, and I never had cable, so I saw it like occasionally at my grandmother's house.
Oh, I know. It's funny to me that you need to go back and watch a large portion of Cheers to understand the framework and the beginning of Frasier.
Yeah, and I've never watched Cheers. I don't think I've never seen an episode of Cheers.
More of the same. I mean, it's kind of the 90s sitcoms kind of vibe.
Fair.
Just a lot more characters on Cheers. That's about it.
Oh, I'm excited. I'll have to give it a watch at some point.
I will eventually at some point have to remember to watch more Star Wars content, but I'm kind of like fasting from Star Wars right now until
you're on a Star Wars detox.
Yeah, well, because I really, really want to love Maul Shadow Lord.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about it, and I want to see that, and so I'm waiting for that to come, and so I can enjoy that because it's going to be we're going to be Star Wars heavy for a fat minute. Between that and the new Mandalorian Grogu show, and then we're going to have our next Conquest unit, and we're going to have our next era, and so there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be Star Wars.
Lots of stuff
in like the next like 5-6 weeks, and so I'm like, I don't want to do more of that in my personal life so that when it becomes that way I don't over stimulate myself on Star Wars material, and then by the time Mandalorian Grogu gets here, I'm like, can it already get like terrible ratings on Rotten Tomatoes so I don't have to watch it?
Well, I mean, I'm hoping we get good stuff. I mean, Maul Shadow Lord, the trailer looked really good, so there's that.
Well, and I think they brought Mandalorian Grogu a lot more back to the Mando season 1 and 2 vibes, which if that's the case, it's going to be a banger of a movie, because that was kind of where like the problem that we got off with the series, which is that we did what every Star Wars show tries to do, which is, emulate the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'm like, guys, this doesn't really work with Star Wars because they're not superheroes. They're just characters. Like, especially when you're not dealing with Jedi, it gets really hard to be like, how do you just live and survive everything? It's like dumb luck and massive amounts of plot armor.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Well, because it's really funny to me what Beskar armor will and won't stop depending on today's
it
plot
stops
points.
Whatever it requires to stop. Okay, that's the rule.
I know.
It's plot armor that is quite literally armor. All right. It's plot armor.
I hear you. It just humors me some days with that, because it's just there's just never any stakes. Like when you elevate every Star Wars character to this grand scheme, meta important person, it's like, okay, well, there's no stakes anymore. They can't die. They can't go anywhere. They're not going to happen. It was like when we initially had to have the Grogu and Mando separate, and then like not even and they couldn't even wait until the next season of the show to bring them back. They just immediately go,
it's fine. Don't
we
worry
got
about
enough CGI Luke. It's fine. Let it go.
Yeah, it's a good time, wasn't it? It's a good time.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. I want them to go back to. I'm hoping for more of that season 1 and 2 vibe. I'm really hoping that Cobb Vanth makes a resurgence.
That would be cool, to be fair.
Show. And yeah, I'm excited for a lot of what the potential is for the upcoming stuff. I just kind of want to walk away from like let's emulate Marvel with Star Wars. I don't think that's where you can go anymore. It's just you can tell side
Yeah.
stories of important characters, but when you get that meta defining, it's like you can't, like at a certain junction, it's like mere humans die to this all the time. Like they can't be super people. Like there's got to be an element of the
There has to
supernatural,
be,
which is like that,
yeah.
yeah, which is what the force was for. It was like that's the force users were always for that case. You could always had people that could be touched by the force but never trained, and that's how you could explain some of that. But
Yeah.
and alive, just anyways, I digress from this point. I just
So good.
it's one of those things with that, like they tried to do with Mando and Bo-Katan and other, and Moff Gideon and characters like that, where it's like you're just too good for a universe this size. Like it just doesn't make sense to be,
Yeah.
this powerful and like able to dodge every literal bullet and just be like, well, it wasn't my time to die yet, so but I'll die in a really really spectacular and easy manner at some point later in the show because my character was done. Freaking Paz and Moff Gideon out there just dying in a ball of fire because why not?
Why not? Yeah, I mean,
We're done with the character.
It was like, how do we get rid of this guy in the most dramatic way possible, but also not have him die completely on screen, so we could maybe miraculously bring him back in the future if we so choose.
Yeah,
let's drop a Star Destroyer on him, but you don't see any body. Okay, so therefore he could maybe possibly come back.
Yeah, dude, honestly.
That's how we're going right now.
But anyways. Yeah, so I'm excited for the new stuff, but I'm just kind of right at this moment taking a break from Star Wars content, trying to kind of not oversaturate the field when it drops.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I guess Galaxy of Heroes has been a little bit slow because we didn't have any real big stuff happen with the era of Andor. It was just, here's a new era, which is fine and everything. Obviously, we're going to get new eras and stuff like that, and that's okay. Yeah. But it was just like, there were no new bosses for Coliseum. There was nothing to tickle my fancy, straight away.
Yeah. No, nothing to keep things moving forward. It was
exactly. So it's just
very kind of like, okay.
Yeah, and that's that.
Yeah.
All so, right. I guess I'm kind of itching for a little bit of Star Wars. Is what I'm trying to say.
Like the problem with the Andor era, it's like while cool, it's like it's the era format just really drags out hype, and it's like it kind of reminds me to a degree of when conquest units get announced, because you have so much time between their announcement and when you actually get to use them, and so you kind of sit on that, which I think was their idea behind doing the era system. It's like, well, we already do this in game with conquest units, so we could do the same thing with marquee units and kind of give people more time to theory craft and see what's available with the characters and choose whether they want to invest in them before the event shows up and things of that nature. But man alive, does it really just make it like, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to do anything with these new characters for a long time.
Forever.
Just kind of sit here and wait. So yeah, it's interesting what their idea was, I guess, on that, but it just really drags out interest. And then of course, they were like, oh, well, we're going to make Deidre more fun to play in Coliseum, which is she is more fun in the lower tiers. The upper tiers, she
well, as soon as you hit tier 5 and you lose Partagaz, it seems like, oh, can't do anything now.
I know, dude. It's like the fact that they don't let her summon all the allies until like tier 7 is just criminal.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. Like, I get it. It made it easier for people to get through those, like, tier 4 and whatever else. But
yeah,
man alive, it's like, and then the thing is too, is that with how much she hurts the other team by being a non-rebel fighter, you can't really add her to the other team because they underperform
Yeah.
on
You
the
can't
rest of
add
it.
her. Yeah.
So it's like, all right, so in theory, I need to wait until, the droid is out to be able to do anything here.
Mhm.
But then the best part of the droid being out, of course, is then by that time you have Andor, and you'll just
Yeah.
go back to using the Rebel fighters.
Yeah.
This is my
It's a
only gripe.
confusing messaging, right?
Yeah, it's my only gripe with the loaned units system. Like, I don't think it's as thought out as they wanted it to be. I think there's still room for improvement on it. I don't think we're at a final form, but
Yeah.
the whole relying on summoned units to do it is
Yeah.
it's not scratching the itch for me, man. It's just, it makes it really boring because you like the Rebel fighters, we can't have a leader. The
Nope.
one leader we have access to, we can't put in the leader slot, so
Yeah,
it
he's not
doesn't
allowed to be in the
activate.
leader slot.
So it's like, oh, great. I'm so glad Saw's here to do the one thing he can do, which is lead for this team, and he can't. And
Yeah.
then, the ISB faction will never fully be supported in their final form either. And so it's like, I feel like they need to have a way of like, I mean, I don't want to say cloning your roster because that defeats the purpose of the era system and using this new material to upgrade our characters and whatever else. But it would incentivize people to relic up more of their characters if they could at least be like, hey, I have a Relic 7 Saw. Can I use that character in Coliseum? You can take my mods away from it or whatever, but let me use. So that way people are
It
more
would be
incentivized
nice,
to
right?
further
But
invest into existing characters.
I
Granted, you could just use whatever era level is going to throttle them down the right direction, convert them the other direction from their gear level to an era level for use inside a Coliseum, and then they get a somewhat pseudo use character. But
I mean,
I don't know.
I think it
The
goes
loan
back
system needs
to
work.
well, I think it goes back to that idea that it was supposed to be loaned units, right? And
Yeah.
theoretically with loaned units, you'd be able to place them in the slot. So you could theoretically have a loaned Saw, for example, and at least you could put him in the leader slot and get a leadership, right? So yeah, it's just a little bit awkward, really, I guess. But hey ho, that is the way the cookie crumbles today. Oh dear me, yeah. So how's your GAC week been, Garth? Have you had exciting matchups? Oh,
No, sorry, no. I'm having my wife bring me a drink of water, and I texted her twice and she hadn't responded. So then I needed to call her so that it was she.
So you're like,
phone.
Mom, bathroom.
Yeah.
Here I am drinking whiskey.
I've got cup of coffee and I'll need some water. It's a heavy cream latte, which is delicious, but heavy cream is thick. And
it's thick.
It starts to coat everything aggressively by the time you get to the bottom of the cup, and just like, I need to wash this down with.
Yeah.
Anyways. No, my GACs have been fairly uninteresting, and not because like I'm facing bad players, but just because with everyone losing their OP overpowered crons, that it's harder for players to power through a defense.
Yeah.
So like if people are losing to my Hondo or my Glat or my Ray, it pretty much just ends the run. Like they just don't have enough left in their rosters to power through the rest of that team. And so it's been less interesting because like the first person I played on my main account, they got 11. They failed on Jabba and then quit.
Okay.
Never came back.
As you do.
So I cleared one zone and then checked it 20 minutes before the round ended, and they never came back. And I was like, that's as far as we're going.
And we're done. Yeah.
Thank you. But then the second round, they locked up on Hondo in the back wall, and then they got down to a solo Glat, but they didn't have the DPS to kill her. And which is hard in threes, but there's a 311% defense on her cron, and so it's like she just is damn near
I mean,
impossible to kill.
only 300%, Garth. I mean, come on, it's not like Glat's really chunky and hard to put down in the first place.
It doesn't get defense up as a constant buff. But yeah, it's like you ran out of smoke. So I was like, I messed around a ton on that attack phase. I dropped so many battles. I think I barely cleared a 1900 score.
Oh wow, okay.
But if he could have showed up and got rid of Glat, then he would have won it. But I was just like, let's try this counter, and just got like immediately steamrolled.
Yeah.
So that was fun. My alt has been the same story, but a little bit different.
Okay.
I've won both rounds of my alt already. But it was interesting because I want to say, let's see. I'm trying to remember the rounds because I think I full cleared him for a decent score, but he got locked up on he got locked up on Glat again. Yeah.
Oh wow. So more than one person getting locked up on your Glat right now.
Yeah, got locked up on my alt's Glat, couldn't kill Ezra and Glat together 4 battles, and then he gave up.
Nice.
But I also took him 3 battles to clear Ray, and so he quit attacking at that point. And then round 2, what happened round 2? I want to say round 2, the guy didn't really show.
Okay.
No, he did. Okay. Yeah, no, he did. Same thing. Locked up on Glat.
Fair.
Took him 2 battles in, didn't get past, didn't kill a unit, and then quit attacking.
So they really weren't having a good time. They probably just saw your account and they're like, yeah, fuck that.
Well, yeah, I which I understand to a degree. But my alt isn't quite nearly as torqued out as my main account is. I only have a mere 145% defense on the Cron for Glat.
I mean, why even sign up to GAC with trash like that?
You're not wrong. But yeah, it was it's just been kind of weird things that like the board gets stuck on, and so I'm winning more because my opponents are going defense lighter, and I'm able to kind of just like ham fit, because like these are not clean battles. Like I'm not doing well. I'm dropping like 4 to 5 every single one.
My round 1 was like that. I full cleared in the last minute, but it was like I think I dropped 6 on Codicron. That was like the last battle, and I had like 3 minutes. I was just throwing shit at the wall, like, quick, just send something, and I was just failing constantly. It was great.
Yeah, no, it's just been, that's where I've been at. Like I've just been able to keep clearing, and that really comes from the fact that I've got the roster depth to just keep throwing shit against the wall and doing something, because there's a relic delta that's in my favor, and so a good Cron plus relic delta advantage makes teams that would normally work have a greater ability to even just to plink somebody down. I mean, I had a round where I was using Slacker versus Hondo.
Okay.
And they did the mass assist on the Slacker and killed him before I ever got to my second turn.
That's fun.
Yeah, just gone and dusted. I was like, well, that's game. So I don't know how I'm going to deal with this now. And so I threw in Great Mothers knowing it wouldn't do anything, but it was Hondo and Hondo. And so they captured Spirit and then immediately killed it. So Hondo retreated. And I was like, well, that's 1 down.
Yeah.
So I was able to do, I took in Treya and was able to get Nihilus to annihilate, and then I took in Bo-Katan and cleaned up from there. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It is just like, there are some counters where it's like, if this loses, the odds of me full clearing drop drastically, because either I need to throw a lot of shit against the wall to clear this one team, or I just can't clear. So it's been interesting to see how things unfold. I'm just happy that the OP Crons are gone. Me
too. I was fed up with them in the end.
I was just fed up because everybody had perfect ones. That's what really got me annoyed, which is that it was one thing to have to face them every time. It's another thing to face perfect ones every time, because it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, look, you got 120% health on 17 of your freaking support crons, and every support character is damn near impossible to win, and they were bugged half the freaking season, or half
Yeah.
the seasons they were out for, and just like, screw it, whatever. I'm gonna not invest for a little while. I'll just buy some vaults of crystals and soak up my tears that way.
I mean, it more than makes up for it, right? You know, it's much cheaper to just wail on crystals than it is to wail at winning GAC. So,
Oh yeah, no, by leagues and balance. That's the unfortunate part. It's like, even going perfect in a GAC season, which is 9-0, the net difference in crystals is like 7,000 if you can go 9-0 versus losing
yeah.
versus losing 0-9.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, but now you got to spend 10,000 crystals on reroll mats every Datacron set, which is every month. It's like, it's just not going to be worth it. They're going to find people not investing as much. They'll need to cut back the on the rest of the tiers, the cost to re-roll, and then they will need to increase the drop rate of Datacrons if they want people to keep investing. Not Datacrons, but the materials to upgrade. If they want people to keep investing into it, because there's just not going to be a point. We're still investing as hard as we are, solely because of how much has been sloughing off from the last few sets dusting. But I can tell you right now, once the droid bounty hunter set dusts, that my ability to immediately max out like 4 FDCs and 10 Datacrons is gonna like deplete.
Fall off a cliff.
Yeah, like I'll be able to do a couple of if there's like 2 15s or 1 15, I might be able to do like all the 9s before the force dusting occurs, but that's about it. There just won't be enough to do anymore because I'm not going to get as much in. And so that's that. Once that hits, I think is when we're going to see Datacron development really crater if they don't make further changes to the economy on it, because you're giving us half the time to develop them at the same cost. And so when you increase demand but do nothing to the supply, people are just going to react in a way of going, well, I can't afford it now, so I'm not going to try to spend more to get it, so I'm just going to go without it. And that's what you're seeing happen, and will continue to happen over the next several months, is that people just
and I don't get why CG went with that model. Like, it's not a fun way. You don't get to really enjoy Coliseum Conquest at all, in my opinion. Now, like, for the casual person, I suppose it's not a massive difference, but for anybody that used to get at least a little bit sweaty at GAC, every single conquest now is just a fucking mad dash. It's like, get to Sector 4 day 1, farm the bonus node for 13 days, and then finish up conquest at the very last day. It's just not fun. You don't get to enjoy it at all anymore. Well, at least that's how I feel about it.
Well, it's just, there's so much pressure on it now. There's not an every other feeling where you can take your time, or if you happen to have a crazy week and you can't really get in and do it, there's no punishment for not being able to show up and participate. And I get the rationale, right? Because they massively reduced the reason to farm as many. You're looking at honestly needing about 5 in a given set, and then you need just enough extra to kind of, fill out the rest of your board. Now, this new set has a little bit more incentive because 25% Terminator crons on Dark Side has not been around for a long time. So that's a huge win. But then there's also one of the best stats in the game to go farm after, which is defense.
And they've really high rolls as well.
Yeah, they're really high rolls. So getting, clearing up almost up to 400% is pretty ludicrous. And so there's a bit more incentive to go wider with this given set. But for a lot of people, there's so many previous sets that have good amounts of armor pen or whatever else. There's kind of ways around it at the given moment. So people are kind of okay with that, whatever. vibe on
Yeah.
farming this current set as much.
Yeah, I suppose. It definitely feels less. I just, yeah, I'm finding it hard to enjoy. Like I said, the crazy high defense rolls that we can get. Although I do need to take a minute and rant just a little bit about the rarity of the Vaincron, because fuck my life, I had 13 Scoundrel Crons at level 9, and about 5 of them I'd re-rolled at least once on the level 9. And only then did I get a Vaincron. I had like 3 or 4 of every single other one. It just would not give me Vain. And I was losing my fucking gourd. It was so annoying.
My alt was in the same boat. I had rolled up like 10, no, not quite 10, maybe like 7 or 8 Scoundrel Crons, and I hadn't landed it. And so literally I started with like, it took me like 5 rerolls to get to him, and then work it back from there. And then I'm just annoyed because like my main account, because it will always happen on one of the accounts, where I have to dump an ungodly amount of reroll mats into getting the cron you need for the set. And the other account, it happens naturally. Like on the vein,
like the very first roll, you're like,
the vein on the vein cron for my main account, I rolled the right level 6, the right level 9 out the rip, and I rolled defense and percent health on the 8 and 9. So all I had to do was go back and re-roll the level 3 to turn meter and then the other stats. And that was all I had to do. And I was like, well, that's gay. But then, of course, like my alternate account, I was like, I went through probably, I got I didn't re-roll the stats as much, but it took me a fat minute of re-rolls, probably like 500 of each tier to get the right stats, and not stats, but the right other things on Cron.
369s.
Like, it's just like, and it's crazy. It's crazy to me how much difference that level 6 makes and the level 3 makes on that team being just an utter pain in the ass. Because like, man, if for whatever reason Hux loses advantage and doesn't get it reapplied and they get their turn meter off of their freaking basics, you are going to just get punched in the mother loving shorts for like what seems like half the battle. Half the battle. It's just, why am I not moving? Why is everybody in the red? What is happening? And then you kind of get it to bring it back. But that Vaincron is so absurdly strong.
It's pretty obnoxious.
It's also equally like, I feel like it's equally, it's like, it kind of reminds me of the Raycron a little bit, but the Raycron was far
Darkside Vision Raycron. I think the Darkside Vision Raycron is definitely worse, but it's still up there. It's still up there.
This one, it just annoys me because there's enough shit. Well, Hondo's just a pain in the ass to fight in the beginning. Like,
a little bit.
He's just annoying. And so it's like, it's fine in 5, so you have the full team, but in 3, it's just like one thing goes slightly off the rail and they just will blow a hole in you. And you're just like, great. Lucky me. So it's fine. I'll survive it. It's not the worst cron we've ever had to face. It's just one of those things where it's like, it's just definitely like week 1, which is like, I am unreasonably upset at a video game right now, and I need to just take a pause here.
You need to woosah.
I need to get my goose fraba going.
Goose frabab.
Because Jesus Christ, man, I was doing the round 1 GAC on Thursday morning, and I'm just like in my house yelling at my computer screen because,
as you do,
Slacker died on like turn 2 of Hondo, and I've thought I've lost the GAC match like on my first play. I'm just like so unreasonably upset for no reason.
That happened to me in round 1 where I took Leia versus Glat Huyang. I was like, okay, we're going to stealth R2D2, put it on Leia, and they just mass assisted Leia and killed her. I was like, what? To be fair, it was like R10 Glat, R10 Ezra, R9 Hu Yang or something like that. And they just went and killed Leia. I was like, what? Okay.
You don't have a Relic 10 Leia yet? And Relic
I do.
10 Drogon and Relic 10
Oh,
R2D2?
no. I got a Relic 10 Leia, Relic 9 Drogon, 8 on R2. But yeah, seeing as though I lost Leia immediately, it was kind of just like, oh, okay. Yeah. I guess we're dead.
Yeah, honestly, that Hu Yang Kron in 5s is especially TW. It gets a little nightmarish.
Yeah.
It just like you have to like mirror almost what they're doing. Like if they got 25% turn meter Kron, you have to have 25% turn meter Kron. Because if you can't get out and control them before, well, because like my best way of countering Glat last season was to use the R2D2 Kron to fear them all.
Yeah.
And then it was just totes easy. Like, oh no, they're all feared for a turn. And so it takes them like a turn, they can't move, and then they get their cooldowns. No, they can't have their cooldowns reduced with Leia, but anyways,
Leia, yeah.
But yeah, it just like locked them up long enough to like get Hera and Sabine out, and then from there it was salvageable. But yeah, Man Alive, that team is really no joke. Like if you can't get your turns before they start just doing their nonsense, it's just
it gets out of hand really quick. Yeah, fun times. But for some reason I am 2-0. I don't know how that worked out, but I am 2-0. So that's kind of nice, I guess. Yeah, because I mean, I haven't had great GAC, but I think I'm back up to like 3,800 or something in score now. So we've done okay.
Are you getting close to my ult again?
Well, maybe I could lose against your ult, Karth. Wouldn't that be a trick?
I'm 3755 on the ult, so not quite. Where am I at on the main account?
So I'm above you on the ult.
Yeah, I'm 3938 on the main account.
3938. Yeah, I'm nowhere near your main account, but I don't want to be anywhere near your main account, truth be told, Karth. It's a hard pass from me, Karth, on that.
That's fair. That's fair. I won't argue the point.
As long as you're okay with it, you know.
I mean, I don't want to be where I'm at half the time. It just you go so far back and forth on the how much people care about what's going on. It's just like I like to try, but I don't want to be sweaty about it.
Yeah.
So it's like when you breach the top like 100 or 200, it's just like all of a sudden it's like, well, if you want to win, you need to care.
I know the waters that I can swim in. It's fine. I don't need to be that high. I don't want to be that high. So yeah.
Well, and there's nothing but hurt feelings up there for most players. Like,
that way lies to misery.
Do you want to go 0-3? Because if you get to a certain point and you're out of your depth, like towards the top, the refinement of your roster really starts to matter. How much effort you put into Datacrons, how much relic levels you put into each of your teams, how much modding you put into those teams, how much mod depth that you have. You know, there's just so many things that go into that in that top tier of players where it's just like, it's not just do you have the shiniest new toys anymore. Like it's really about, can you appropriately mod, adequately support all the teams you're going to need at that level. And then, you know, you get used to playing against players that are like that. Cause that's the other thing for me. Every once in a while, I'll run into, you know, Clones Unleashed or Ma or, you know, Vanguard or Desolder player. And, you know, it's just like you run into them and you're just like, why does everything not work anymore? It's all gone to shit. And you're just like,
I swear this normally works.
Freaking game and it's RNG. And then you're like, oh, right. No, most people don't mod their teams this way. Most people don't have Datacrons that they roll past level 3, 6, and 9s. You know, and so it's like you deal with that enough, and then you're like, oh. Because like for me on my main account, I'm used to it, but that's also because I do it too. So it feels more natural, I guess is the better way of phrasing it. So I don't freak out as much. But yeah, otherwise I just rage bait myself at like, why is my alt sucking so bad? It's like, oh, because I'm fighting people I normally fight on my main account. My main account is mod to deal with this shit. There's only like 110 difference in 25 speed mods between the two accounts. So, you know, that's not going to play a factor at all.
No. Oh, we should probably say, if you have questions, by the way, ladies and gentlemen at home, go ahead and put them in the Tribe Talks questions inside of my Discord. Because I forgot to do a little celebratory, by the way, we're doing Tribe Talks, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, if you've got any questions.
You did your celebratory Raid Shadow Legends plug.
Raid Shadow Legends. I mean, yeah. Of course I did. I'm enjoying that tournament. I genuinely am. I'm a competitive guy, and we are currently winning. Probably in no small part to the fact that Arnold has a massive active community, and they are doing fucking incredible work at lifting our score. It's insane. Although, you know, Arnold and I have done our bit. We've plugged away, we've grinded away, and we've developed our rosters so that we can gain our own points. Because we are actually currently, at least, top of points from the creator side of things, as well as top of points from the community side of things. The only thing we're behind on is the first team to beat the clan bosses on easy and on nightmare. That went to team 5, but we're still winning because community is fucking insane. So yeah, good times. I'm very happy. I'm a happy little clam. Happy little clam in mud. That's what I am.
I believe it.
I believe it. Yeah. But yes, Tribe Talks questions. If you had them, put them in the Discord, and we'll read them. Maybe we'll just ignore you. I don't know.
I mean, I'm tempted to at least ignore Bubba Joe.
I mean, who's the little buddy this time round?
I don't think anyone is this time.
Nobody's a little buddy this time. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
It is a wonderful day in life.
There are no little buddies today, and that's okay. But I mean, we can read questions if you want. I mean, I don't mind.
We got it's a short list thus far, but we could start with questions.
We've only just plugged it as well, haven't we? So I mean, there is that.
Yeah, we could, find something else to talk about for a few more minutes.
We certainly could.
We'll let people get a chance to bring things in. We could speculate a smidgen about what we think of the possible new conquest unit coming in.
It will be, well, we should find out this week, shouldn't we? Because
not this week. It should be the week after.
Next week.
When they
preload the update, yeah. Mm-hmm. Which will be interesting. Well,
actually, I dial that back. It should be this week that we find out, because they have been doing their updates week 2 of GAC.
Yes. So
it very well could be this week that we find out who the next conquest unit is.
Well,
I'm hoping it's something mall related. That's what I'm hoping for.
It would be nice if it was mall related, but what would they even do?
We could get another mall. We can get Crime Lord Mall. We talked about it.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What could they do? They could be more mall.
We could get Crimson Dawn Mall. Like, for all I could, care. I could see something like that come into the game and doing a crime boss version of him. That could be fun.
It could be. Yeah.
Although I don't think Shadow Lord has anything to do with the crime boss feature of him. I think a lot of that was season, what was that, season 6 of Clone Wars or whatever that was, right? No, it's season
I don't know.
I'm trying to, not Palpatine. Sidious goes to Mandalore to deal with him because of him uniting the underworld.
Right.
And I can't remember what season that was off the top of my head anymore, but the it'd be a cool plug because it would be releasing mostly while the show is running.
Yeah.
Because it would start literally right as the first 2 episodes release. And then it would be going on for several weeks. So there would be a lot of interest in that. That would be good marketing timing.
It would be. It would kind of fit. I just don't know. I guess I just don't know if we'd make the cut, as it were.
The one thing we're both really hoping for, which would be a new conquest ship.
Oh, please, for the love of all that is holy, for the love of all that is great and golden, please let it be a ship that heralds in a new fleet.
Yeah. I will take cardboard cutouts.
Yes.
And kits. That's all I care about.
I hate Ewoks, but I will take Ewok gliders in space. Whatever we got to do for a new fleet.
Whatever it takes for a new fleet. That's where my brain's at too. It needs to be light side. Well, needs is a strong word.
I would like it to be light side.
I would like it to be light side. I would be fine with New Republic being that particular fleet design. The Starhawk would be freaking dope to come into the game.
What's the Starhawk? What's that one from?
Oh, that's from Star Wars Battlefront 2. It's a previous New Republic canon.
Okay.
But hold on. Copy image. Post to scribe for
context.
Show him the titty pics.
Show me the money.
The Starhawk is a capital ship that was like, it was designed to be like an enforcer type ship. So the main gun, if you can kind of see the picture I just sent you, those 6 little dots on the front of it, that is a ion cannon that was designed, not an ion cannon, that was a tractor beam designed to immobilize like Star Destroyer size vessels.
Okay. Cool.
So it was basically like designed to be a tractor beam for massive capital ship size vehicles. And so that was their way of apprehending the Empire without lethal force. They could just literally lock their ships in place and they couldn't escape.
Nifty.
So yeah, it was kind of cool.
I'll take it. So it locks down capital ships.
Yeah. So it's already has the alt.
It comes ready made.
Yeah, ready to go. Just like can't do anything.
Yeah.
GG profundity. You can't escape now. Hilarious. But yeah, no, I just I would take that's the low hanging fruit of a fleet option for me. I really don't want to do like Old Republic fleet, but I would also still be okay with it because then the Endar Spire could be the capital ship, but I mean they could pick a better frigate that Satil could lead.
Yeah.
Over Bastila. But whatever. I'll take whatever. I don't care. Old Republic.
I'll take whatever you're giving me.
Whatever it is that is not freaking Leviathan. That's all.
Yes, I think the entire community can certainly level with the fact that we are all collectively over the Leviathan meta. It's had its day. We can move on. It's okay to move on. It's all right to move on.
It's well past time to move on. Like that's where
it is. It is overdue.
It's overdue. I need something.
It has overstayed its welcome. Okay.
Yeah, I need something else to do than Leviathan mirrors.
Yeah, same.
I'm really tired of it. But
absolutely.
Yeah, that would be cool. Outside of that, I feel like it's going to either follow that or it's going to be a ship. It's either going to follow the new content release or it's going to be a new ship. One of the two is kind of where my brain's at.
Yeah, I actually have zero hope that it's a new ship. I want it. I desperately do want it to be a new ship, but I don't think it's something in my brain is just saying it's not going to be a new ship. See, you still don't know what to do with fleet.
No, I'm with you. I am with you. But
I desperately want it to be there.
See, I want it to be 51% a new character and 49% a new fleet ship. And the only reason I'm that way is because given the odds, they're going to favor a character.
Yeah.
But since it's a yes or no question, I'm going to boil it down to 50-50, but shift a percentage point. Just so it's like, I know what's likely going to happen, but I want as much hope as possible remaining for a ship. So it's like, yeah, given the odds, 51% means it's most likely going to be a character.
Yeah.
But I want 49% to be a ship. I want to be as optimistic about my negativity as I can be.
Well, I mean, I respect it. It's good hustle. Oh, mate. But I mean, yeah, we should find out, like you said, this coming week, which probably week, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that.
Probably Wednesday, I want to say.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like Wednesday should be the day we get it, and Thursday should be update, if I remember correctly. If that's how they've been doing things, they kind of shifted things on me again.
Yeah. I think it kind of depends on how busy they get and how much time they have and stuff. But
I know it's like getting used to the new cadence on their era battles being like what, Thursday and Monday, just like, or Friday. Is it Friday and Monday? The new era battle cadences, they're being Tuesdays.
Yeah,
and Thursdays.
It's been really freaking weird as well. Like It irks my ADHD because I'm like, hey, man, I know that these were supposed to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays all the time. We had it that way for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then they went, you know what? Fuck the cadence. We do what we like.
Hey, we were late by 2 days. And so instead of ever fixing this, we're just going to leave it on these 2 days instead.
We're always going to be late.
That's what we're changing it to. Hey, we still get it in the off week, though, you know, almost by the definition of the 11th hour, the last one to run. But, you know, we do get it in the off weeks. We get it before most events start outside of TB. And so in TB is Relic 5 to start. So who cares if you're not going to have your newest tunes ready to go by then. So we have a little bit of flexibility on it. So I'm not really upset by it by any stretch of the imagination. I'm really tired of this whole like Monday night or the like the lock, like what is it? The lock in for GAC and the ending of Conquest is like that 4-hour window.
Oh god,
like
it's
panic equip. Like honestly, I'm almost looking at CG and I'm like, hey, it'd be really cool of you if when an error ends, you do it a day early.
Oh please.
I don't think anybody's gonna care. But I tell you what, I lost my damn gourd on the last era ending, trying to remod like 12 teams in 3 hours.
Well, like, and the thing is if you've used something like you know, hot utils in the past to like mod your roster, it becomes impossible to do that post conquest ending, because it's just like everybody and their mum is trying to remod their roster, so nobody can get it to work. It'll just be like systems overloaded. So you like,
oh, I know, yeah.
It's you are forced to do it all manual, and
which luckily sucks. I started there and did it manually. I was able to kind of oh Jesus Christ, something's stuck in my throat. But I was able to kind of piece out how I wanted the characters to be modded in advance.
Yeah.
So I was able to kind of like tweak the mods of the team I knew that would be using it right away. And then was able to made it easier to kind of like set the mod sets aside for the new characters coming on board, and then go back through and plug in all the holes that were created after that. But like but literally it took me, because we finished at 11, and it took me until 1:30 to be done on my main account. And literally on I just loaded the mod sets I had and plugged the holes with trash mods. And I'm like, I ain't gonna deal with
any shit
later.
Will do.
Yeah, no, like I made sure Stranger was solid, and I think Vader was solid. And then after that, it was just like, whatever, we're just gonna set them on a team and call it a day. I am done dealing with you already. Like, I don't know what else I'm going to do twice. Like, I will let Hot Util sort this out in a week from now when the next GAC season starts. But like, honest to God, like that's the quality of life I could really use from CG. It's like, can you give us 24 hours between dumping this on me
Just a
and
little bit of breathing
GAC
space.
lock-in. Okay, that's all I'm asking for. Like, just give me the ability to, at night, in the leisure of my underwear, sit in front of my computer and contemplate the important things in life. You
Yes.
know, I don't need to have a 3-hour-long siesta of a lunch break to do this for GAC, because God forbid I don't have the time to do this any other go before GAC lock-in. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I could use that change. That's all I'm saying. Like, end the era a day early. No one will care.
No,
Like,
no. Well,
Impact.
People will care, but in a different way. They'll be very, very happy. That's how they will care.
I can't see how cut it, because there's nothing, like, there should be nothing about that last week that missing a day of it is going to matter for. To my knowledge, there is nothing that you're going to miss, because if you're really waiting until day 7 to do the marquee challenge event, like, screw you. Like, you're the one person I am not going to care for. Do it a day earlier. Do it any other time. It's going to be fine, I promise. But if that's the only person we're considering is the people that wait till day 7 to do the marquee challenge, like, no, you know what? On the last marquee, screw yourself. You don't get that extra day. If you miss it, you miss your 25 era currency, because anybody who's waiting that long to do that is not maxing it. No. So it's not like somebody who's going to be like, oh my God, I spent $300 on this character and I totally forgot about this marquee event for a week. It's like, no, homie, you're spending that kind of money on this game. Like, you're doing that the second it ticks over while you're doing Coliseum on the same day. Like, like, come on, like, don't lie to me.
You can't lie to me. Yeah. I really hope they do, because it was horrendous last time. It's absolute. The chances of it happening this time, of them changing it this time, is 0. Let's be real. They're not gonna do it this time, because they're not that kind.
Yeah.
But, well, we could always hope, I guess.
We can always hope. I am hopeful for it a lot, but yeah, I'm just so done with the whole it's one thing when it's a conquest unit, when you have a little bit of time to sort them out, but man alive, when you're doing like 7 characters at a time, and that's not even
just rough.
That last one was even worse, because of the fact that you were trying to also mod basically 7 new teams at the same time, and so it's like trying to optimize what team you were going to put it in, because turn order matters a lot and things of said nature, and so there was a lot of things that had to be considered going into it. And so then moving forward, they shouldn't be as egregious as it was now, but man, I'm just to the point of like, it'd be really cool if you just gave us a day. Just give us a day. It's not that hard. It shouldn't impact anybody.
And everybody will be happy.
Well, there will be somebody. I guarantee there will be somebody who'll be like, you took a day away from me.
Somebody will be unhappy, but we don't like them very much, so that's all right.
Well, yeah. I'm very much the point, like, if it's a net win for the community, the one person throwing their toys out of the pram can really just go without. That's where I'm going to sit on that one. Like,
I am willing for this person to go without.
Yeah. It's like, hey, homie, if this is a really big issue to you, join my guild. I will send you some crystals. And
just so you can shut up.
Shut up. Yeah, just so you can shut up. Like, I don't care at that junction. Like, there is nothing that would where I couldn't see that being a positive for people. But anyways, I just
Garth with I will literally pay you to shut up.
Yeah. Yes, I will. I will literally do it. It's one of the few things that always kind of irks me with CGs when they screw up or do anything. They're very hesitant to give things out, and I'm like, I never understood why that was the case. Like, if you make screw ups and it impacts player performance, even as a minor token, to be like, hey, we screwed up. Here's 500 crystals. Here's 1,000 crystals.
They don't do a whole lot of that.
They don't. But if they did, you very quickly turn the conversation about a mistake from a negative to a positive. Yeah. Because then people see that when you make a mistake, that they get rewarded, and then they're okay with it. And then we don't spend a week of just shit talking the game on every forum post we can get our hands on. Just like I played one game that was the Lord of the Rings game, not Home, but a different one. A different one. But like anytime they did anything,
so I was going to say, was its name not Home?
No. It was like a Clash of Clans kind of style. Lord of the Rings game.
Okay.
You had a hero. You could create armies with your heroes. You attack different things. It was like Rings of Power, not Rings of Power, something. War of the
Power Rings.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Stuff.
But anyways, that was their thing. Whenever there was a mild inconvenience, they gave you like 400 premium currency, which was like less than $5. But like,
hey,
because
man,
their game
I'll take that.
It was like a live service PvP, so you would fight other players in real time.
Oh, okay.
The battles weren't PvP, but the fights were PvP, so you could move the armies to engage in real time. Yeah, Rise of War. Their Night Fox got it.
Rise of War.
But yeah, very heavily monetized and very much favored throwing your wall at the floor. But anyways,
we don't judge.
But with them, that was their policy. Basically, if they did anything that disrupted service to the game or was an unfair, basically provided some sort of unfair element, they wouldn't give out the world, but they'd give you something every time. Yeah. And like, so a lot of people, when they had it, they wouldn't be upset anymore when the game had a mistake, because they knew they would get something out of it. And I'm like, I feel like for CG, it feels like such a little token for them to do. I'm like, literally, it's just everybody who plays, hey, here, have 450 crystals, an average day's worth of refreshes for our mistake. Go have that. Enjoy. And all of a sudden, people are going to just be like, oh, man, now I'm not nearly as upset about this mild inconvenience, because like every time anything happens, people just immediately are rage baited into the Reddit posts and the Discord event server, and just like, I can't believe I lost these 300 crystals in GAC because of this bug, and it's like, just give out a few crystals and watch people shut up, because anyways,
or at least not react quite as
egregiously. They don't feel like they're being slighted. I think that's the reason why people feel like they're so slighted by CG, is that they get nothing so often and then they make a mistake. It's just like, I get it.
And when something does happen, it's like, here's 3 Clone Wars Chewie shots.
Yeah. Well, and then when they do something, it's almost low-key insulting. It's just like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes they swing the other way, but it's it's very few and far between.
Few and far between, yeah. It feels like a ratchet on the pendulum, right? It's like they have to. It's like a 10-1. It's like we have to screw up like 10 times, and then on the 11th screw up, we give you like a literal vault or two's worth of value. It's like, hey, we accidentally deleted all your Datacrons. Our bad. So we're going to do 2 things. A, we're going to give you unlimited mats. And then B, we're going to give them all right back to you.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we only need one of those things. No, we're going to do both. Son of a bitch. We didn't need to do both. Too late.
Fuck it. Enjoy.
Yeah, 4 months of the most horrific GAC meta of my life. I did not enjoy everybody having access to just out of your gourd.
Yeah, you're like, hey, only I'm supposed to have this benefit.
Well, that's the whole point.
That's why I wail.
Haha, but for real, like the reason I throw money at the wall is to have a competitive advantage. If I don't have the competitive advantage, this is a lot of money to spend into a collector game. Like, it's just like, oh, shiny pixels. Now, granted, I'll give it to them. Their pixels have gotten way shinier as of late.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, I love the new Krennic model. That looks
fantastic. Great, right?
It looks great. I'm kind of like, hey, any chance you want to go back on some of these other characters I really love and give them a retexture pass? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
It could happen.
Revan, Bastila, Jolie, Juhani, come on. Old Republic's coming up. And
Juhani could use some love. She's looking a bit rough around the edges.
Yeah.
for a Catwoman.
I really hope that CG does a better way of fixing the TW version of that team, other than making Mission a freaking Jedi.
They're like, you know what? Mission's a Jedi.
Yeah, no joke. Like, if this was KOTOR 2 content, I could swing for that. That would be funny to me. Yeah. But being KOTOR 1, it's like, guys, that didn't happen. But I mean, there's another thing I'd love to get is KOTOR 2 characters, get some Mitra Surik involved and get the cast from that. That would be a lot of fun too. Man alive, I get why they follow the media, but I want to get past all that and then spend like 2 years just going after the banger content, stuff I grew up with as a kid in the late 90s and early 2000s, and just kind of hammer that content out and just like, get those 30-year-olds with spare money to show up and spend money on a mobile game, because, young kids these days don't have money.
No, well, I'd say some of them have got more money than I used to have as a kid, but maybe it's because I grew up poor. Who knows?
It's possible.
But well, no, it did happen. It wasn't.
You're
possible,
telling me you didn't wear 3-piece suits to grade school?
You had suits.
You're getting paid.
You had clothes. All I had was a dishcloth.
Honestly, that was my entire summer attire as a kid growing up, was either a pair of whitey tidies or my dad's t-shirts. That was all we wore all summer long. Luckily, most time we'd wear both, but occasionally it was one or the other. So.
Yeah, of course. As you do.
As you do, yeah, of course, as you do.
Yeah. Okay. Should we check the chat talks, the tribe talk, question talks?
There's a few more in there. We can go through them and
people can continue to put questions if they so choose. Okay, bear with me, caller. Hold the line. It is. Hi, Tribe Talks. What would you say about 5 versus 4 arena, where you attack with 4 troops and set the normal 5 on defense?
No.
To reduce the time spent? No, you just straight up lose many fights.
No, I don't like it at all.
What about 6v6 arena or even more?
Hey, 6v6 is already there. It's called ISB versus Rebel Fighters.
ISB. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Or Geos versus Gas 501st.
Yeah. Or the OG Rebel Fighter team with or Mon Mothma's Rebel Fighter team. Those are your 6v6 teams.
How about instead it's you get the ally slot, and you can have, it would be 6v6, but it would be also second leadership. That would be horrendous, I'll be honest, but
that would be so bad. That would be so bad. Hey, Andor, would you love to have Luthen lead, or not Luthen lead, Saw lead with your squad?
Well, could you imagine Leia teams having Leia and like Adrad at the same time, or?
Yeah, let me just add an ungodly amount of. Yeah, let me add some speed and Terminator generation system squads. That'll be great.
You add Adrad and you get Hope, or do you need to have full Rogue One for Hope? I don't think you do actually.
I think it requires. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had to call the wife again. Sorry. She has her text notifications on silent, but she's got her ringer on, so I text her, wait for 2 minutes. She doesn't answer. I call her. I'm like, bring me things.
Honey, I need stuff.
Honey. Ooh.
We're getting musical in this bitch. So, yeah, no, don't like the idea of undermanning an attack.
I don't like that the problem that I have with the game is that it's so fundamentally developed around a 5v5 mechanic that even 3v3 is incredibly toxic because of the fact that the game is not designed around that mechanic or that play style. So it's like in 3v3, the reason why certain things are obnoxious or get hold is because it's either too much power on one team or it's not enough because you need the 5v5. So like that's why GLAT is always a problem, because like GLAT is so ungodly tanky that if you don't have a lot of firepower against her, you'll just time out every time. You don't there's
Yeah.
nothing that can clean up her against effectively because you almost need a 1v5 like for Relic 9 Geos to stand a chance. And even then, good luck. Like it's not a guarantee. And so it's like there's all these things that the game was never really designed for. And so it's like I don't mind the concept, but I would rather have them develop more game modes in which to use my characters. Let's create different PvP and PvE elements based around 5v5 squads because that's what the whole game was designed for. So I don't see a reason to go back for it. Just give me more things to play it in. I would much rather have that than do 4v4, 3v3, 2v2, 6v6. Like, just no, I don't want to ever see another iteration of that. I would rather just keep more game modes to play those characters in.
Yeah, this is one of the things that, I know this might sound a little bit irritating that I'm bringing it back to Raid, but having played the game properly for the first time, one of the things it does do that is arguably better than Galaxy of Heroes is you have a lot of game modes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of fucking game modes that you play, and you have to play all of them. Simming isn't really a thing in Raid, and I know that would probably irritate a lot of people in Galaxy of Heroes because we do like to sim a lot, but there are so many different PvE game modes, multiple bosses, multiple different places where you have to farm different types of gear to constantly improve stuff, and a lot of it is restricted to certain types, or particular bosses can only be countered by certain units and team comps or strategies, that it does demand you build certain things, so it would be nice if we did have more game modes to do more stuff.
Well, I would like to do like a planetary conquest mode, like the OG Battlefront 2's conquest mode. Something like that, guild wide would be fun for me to do something like that where it's kind of like what TB is, but I guess make it more PvP centric. Let opposing guilds or do other things, or like base conquest stuff where like you divide it into different phases, kind of like the maps for TB, the original TB maps, where it's like you take out certain objectives, and as you get closer, then you actually capture the base. And there could be different things where you could shrink that down to a smaller pool of player experience and make it interesting again. But use the same iteration of the concept of what's there, because it's the whole point of Star Wars. That's what I've always enjoyed about Star Wars is the size of it. When you're talking about things on a galactic scale, it's fun to play at a galactic scale as well as to play on the individual battle scale. And so I kind of want them to incorporate more of that into what we do. And you can kind of use it on the piggyback off of the systems that are already in place. You just need to kind of retool it to be either smaller or slightly different in its what it's capable of. But anyways, that would be fun for me.
Yeah, cool. Next question comes from Stars. Are you guys enjoying the new Datacron schedule? We've kind of talked about this. To me, it's a little bit forced chaotic to try and do conquest and farm the crons in 1 week, or in 1 era, or 2 weeks. So we kind of spoke about this earlier. No, we don't.
I mean, they need to adjust the economy if they want to make it palatable again. They either need to, what they should do is they should cut all the reroll costs down to what they should cut the reroll costs down on all tiers to what tier 2 is, and then they should double the reroll acquisition for the current cost in all locations. And then they should not necessarily double, but they should increase the drop rate for the upgrade materials in Conquest. Because right now, if you want people to really invest, there's no need to. You don't need to go deep on it. So there's no reason to spend the money on it. The game mode is really being carried by FDC, so that's where people want to put their investment into anyways, which is fine. I prefer it that way anyways, but they really need to retool the experience to be more palatable for a shorter farm cycle.
Mm.
I think they should make it easier to obtain a slightly larger amount, and they should make it easier to re-roll those crons as well. But and they could tackle that a multitude of ways. They could just reduce the pool of how many 369s are there, or they could do quite a few things to make things more palatable. But they do need to change it, because in the current farm system, it's just, unless you're willing to go wall against the wall strategy, it's going to be very challenging to get a decent amount free to play. I mean, and I get you shouldn't be able to get everything free to play, but it felt like with the 2 months to farm, that free to play players within that time frame, even though it was 2 seasons of GAC to do, or 1.5 or whatever, they felt like they could get competitive within that time frame. And now
Yeah.
it's just like, you can't be competitive unless you're buying the Ascendant pack and the calendar, and then going through the hundreds, or maybe on day one going through 200s or 400s to get through sector 4 as fast as you can. And so there's a lot of things that are pricing people out very quickly of wanting to engage. And then, on top of that, FDCs are still the number one thing to invest in when it comes to Datacrons. And they're not really giving us a reason to do much beyond that. Like we mentioned before, this current set has some incentive with the turn meter and the defense stat to go wider, but you're really not seeing that on a large scale. And so if they want to see competitive players investing back up to 30 crons for one set, you really got to let the inflow of materials come in. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. That's what my feedback was to Meathead was, I'm going to do probably somewhere between 10 to 15 every set, because I don't care. Like, I only need 3 or 4 actual good level 9s, and everything else is kind of just filler for my roster. And I don't see a reason to push any harder than this, because there's just no point besides dumping, spending crystals and dumping into it. So I'm just not going to. The only reason I'm at like 20 crons or 22 crons on this current set with this one is solely because we were dusting into it, and I was able to heavily
invest straight away.
Yeah, well, not heavily invest. I had the resources to just dump into it, so it made it easy. But I can't see that being a constant thing going forward. And so if they want people to keep investing into that, they'll need to increase the supply of materials to do it. And then people will feel a little
or
bit
decrease
more
the cost. Either way
ease.
works, I suppose.
Well, they should do both. Well, sorry. At the minimum, they should reduce the cost to re-roll on all tiers to what the middle tier is. At the minimum, that's what they should do, because then you already are effectively increasing the amount that are going to show up, or not show up. You're increasing how far what you have access to is going now, right? Because 20 Mark IIIs now get you the 2 rerolls in the top tier instead of just 1. So you're already doubling the value there. That would be the immediate thing I would change, is just cut it all down to the same tier. And then from there, evaluate access to materials. Because I know if they increase the amount of materials, that they decrease how much they dust by, because your access to things are going to be increased. I know that starts messing with the economy. Yeah. But I think if players realistically wanted to feel like they had more options to get access to what they needed for each Datacron set, that would be the first way I would address it.
That's fair. Yeah. Second part is, what character or squads do you want to see in the next Datacron set? Well, it's going to be something to do with Old Republic or Jedi, I guess.
Doesn't have to.
You don't think they're going to give Satele one?
It should get an FDC, so it doesn't matter what factions they choose.
Yeah.
Because they'll just use FDCs and give.
That's a good point. Yeah.
A level 15 cron with everything that's going on there. So, that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's like, I don't really know, because I don't know what 2 factions they want to support again. We we go back and forth between these broad and narrow factions. You know, Imperial Remnant and Bad Batch is a super narrow niche.
Yeah.
And then Scoundrel and Mercenary. Now, granted, Mercenary feels ill-fitted in my opinion, because it's a faction because it's a faction that its best team has an FDC for. So there is no net gain on doing more mercenary work because the mercenaries don't really have another leader on the light side.
No. Yeah.
So it's like you're not really doing anything with the light side faction besides just giving a great stat to run with. But outside of that, the Scoundrel one is just so freaking wide. Like, it's just like that level 6. It's very useful in a lot of places, and it almost infuriates me that we don't have better Scoundrel level 9s, because it's like, I look Embo and Chrysanthemum and Athano, and you know, it's like, man, those look like mostly pirates and Hut Cartel. Feels like you could have picked a different freaking cron to put these on. Like, I'm just like low-key annoyed, I guess, because like Scoundrel's just a wide tag that could really benefit from the combination of things that it has access to.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting out here going like, no. Screw you.
Absolutely not.
Like, the only fun one that I can find right now is like Bosk Bounty Hunters with Zam, and maybe doing something funny with like that kind of setup. Because like, dark side with 25% turn meter, bounty hunters, they can get in front of a lot of teams, especially like with a Saj lead. Not a Saj. What is her name?
Not a Saj?
No, it's the freaking bald bounty hunter.
Zam? No.
No. Starts with an A. Why can't I think of her name?
I mean, there is bounty hunter Saj, but you are thinking of Aura. Aura Singh.
Aura Singh. God, I could not think of that.
We were both like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no. You can do like one fun thing with that level 3 in her, but then that's about it, right? There's not much else you can really do with the team. And so that's like the only bleed over that you have. Like, it's pirates, Hut Cartel, and then one actual Scoundrel that can have some plug and play viability with their team comp and stuff. And so, I mean, there are different ways you can abuse it, but like, not to really great effect. You know, the most level 9s are kind of a joke outside of the fact that the team that they work on gives them some plug and play viability to that usage, but that's about it, right? You're not really seeing a ton of growth beyond that. And so anyways, it infuriates me to a degree, is that you have like, oh, what can I do with Zalabar, Kyle Katarn, freaking, what is his name? I'm staring at the character. No, well, Dash is one of them.
You're thinking of another one.
Cal Castus, Jesus Christ. I'm just blanking on names left, right, and center. I'm not that old, I promise. But like, Cal's is kind of a joke too, because it's like, oh, cool, fast out on Cal. Man, wouldn't it be a shame if there was still a cron that gave 25% turn meter and an assload of protection that he had access to? Well, anyway. And so it's like, it's so frustrating that like the mercenary cron feels so not worth your time, outside of the fact that it has decent level 3 and a decent level or decent stats. Because the mercenary level 6s, there are some that are useful, right? The ability to the non-revive has some plug and play usefulness. There's a couple here and there that are useful, but you know, the real bread out of this one is the turn meter and the dark side stuff, and then not dark side, turn meter and defense. Jesus Christ, I'm all over the road.
But you know, the question was about what would you like to see in the next set, and we just spent about 20 minutes talking about the current set.
I spiraled pretty hard back to the direction.
Yeah. That's okay. You just dead to me. It's fine.
I'm terrible at staying on track. No, The
Yeah.
new set, man, I don't know. I pick 2 factions, give it to me. I don't care. I would love to see something a little bit broader again.
Mhm.
Because these new ones are really, when they're very narrowed, it's not very interesting.
Mhm.
Do something Galactic Republic for the light side, do a generic Sith one, bring back the Sidious Kron for the dark side, or do Jedi Sith or whatever. Give me a little bit more flexibility in the Krons. I appreciate that the new direction is limited what
Mhm.
they go for, but I feel like it's almost too constrictive because
Right.
there's just nothing good outside of the 2 Krons. Like, hey, if Chopper and Hu Yang, outside of that, who cares?
Yeah.
I don't think we ever used the Bounty Hunter Krons from the last set in a meaningful capacity because,
I used Zucker's quite a bit, to be honest.
all right, fair.
Yep. All right. Well, congratulations.
I give you that one. But most people I see,
but yeah, that's about it.
yeah, that's about it. That's my point. It's just like, god damn it. I'm infuriated because it's the bar is also incredibly low. It just makes it that there's not reason to farm beyond the interim, and so there's no reward
Yeah.
for bigger accounts to push harder, because why do I care? There's no reason to go any further. So anyways, I would like wider factions, especially when we're doing like 5v5 sets, like heavy sets, because then you got to use them in the game mode that gives you the most flexibility, but also the game mode itself is relatively limiting because, hey, guess what? If you have a Jedi Cron, yeah, there's like 5 Jedi teams, but you're only going to use like 2 or 3 at a given time. And so it's like it gives more room for theory crafting, I guess, is where my head's at with that one. And I like to enjoy that part of the game. And it feels like the current set's like, hey, get your Moff Gideon Cron and your Night Trooper Cron, get your Crosshair Cron. Yeah. Done. That's it. It's all you got to farm, and you will be meta competitive. And then,
Metapetitive? Yeah.
Yep. I digress.
Well, I personally, I like it when we get, I like it when we get stuff for the new stuff. Obviously, they're trying to lean into FTCs doing that these days. But for me, I like it when we get the Datacrons that lift up crappy factions into doing something meaningful. So, you look at stuff like the Wampa Cron or the Sidious Cron, and that's kind of cool and interesting. So, give me something. I won't say Jawas or Ewoks because that'll send my community nuts because they have absolute unhealthy obsessions with those furry little critters. But, do something like... I don't want to say Finzora either because that's kind of busted. Like Phasma Lead First Order. Make it very specific so it can't be abused within a slacker team or something like that. Or like,
I don't know. Make her the lead again, and then like let her TW Omni be active in GAC. Like you're already doing parts of that for Wampa. Like you have the capability and the coding to make that work, and so just do things like that. Like that's all it would take. Just give us some of those teams that. Like Poggle's Cron, like make Geo's annoying, make Poggle's Ami work in freaking in GAC, and then give the Geonosians like a out of your gourd FTC to go with it. Like it doesn't take a lot to make these older teams that people don't really invest in anymore, but younger accounts have a lot of access to make them fun for a little bit. That was the reason why we like things like the Wampa Cron and the Sidious Cron and things like that, was because it made smaller accounts feel like they could do more, and then they were more willing to invest into those game modes during that time, where it's like now it's like, well, if I don't have the newest toys and the newest conquest units and the newest Galactic Legends, well, then there's no point in competing because, I'm just going to get wrecked. So anyway.
Sometimes you deserve to get wrecked, Garth, I'm just saying. Okay. Rurik, a new question from Rurik is, hi guys, in regards to non-speed mods, is there a slice quality that you looked for or hits in non-speed secondaries that you keep? What are those requirements for non-speed secondaries? Okay.
Oh, it's easy. If there's not a speed secondary on the mod, I don't keep it at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty sensible.
There's to start with. Beyond that, I don't really worry about the quality as much on non-speed, because it's just gravy on top of it. There are certain things in the game where you could make arguments for, you know, making sure that you're getting those plus, 15% secondaries of defense or whatever else that can roll that high. For certain characters, like Afra really loves having very high quality speed or potency secondaries, but she wants a decent amount of speed with it too. So it's hard to get the balance. And if you have to sacrifice one, it's always going to be whatever stat that's not speed.
Yep.
Like that's just how it's going to go. You're always going to want to take good speed over perfect potency rolls or perfect defense rolls. There are teams that love to have those particular things available to them. Wampa loves having 10% tenacity on every freaking secondary that he can, but those things become hard, if not as equally challenging as really good, plus 25 mods. And so, you have to have a lot of roster development, and I mean a lot of roster development to start caring about really good secondary roles intentionally. Like you need to get like well into the hundreds, almost 200 plus 25 speed mods, and then you can start caring about, well, do I want to level up this cron or this mod specifically to try to score 12% tenacity so that Wampa can be out of his gourd, resisting debuffs and things of that nature. So it's just they're so niche, they're so specific that you're better off spending those resources investing into more plus 25 speed mods always and forever. That's just how the game works.
Sad truth, I suppose.
Especially with Datacrons. Datacrons will do more at a far cheaper cost while that character is viable than mods will do long term. Mods make that 1% difference in very tight matches, but overall, the more teams you can take, the more teams you can have moving faster in the right turn orders, it's just better overall.
I'll be honest. When I am looking at it, I agree with Carth that almost exclusively, if something doesn't have speed, I just straight up sell it. There are very, very few characters that want no speed. So, like, I'm not going to keep, even if a mod had like perfect rolls of percentile offense, I wouldn't necessarily keep it. I probably would actually, but it always has to have some mods, some speed on it, right? But there are certain things that I look for. Generally speaking, if it's got a good high total roll percentage on something like percentile offense or percentile health or percentile protection, those are usually things that I'll be like, oh, I'll keep rolling this when normally I would stop rolling this because it didn't hit speed, right? So say you've got let's say it's an offense set. It's got, on the secondary, it's got 5 speed, it's got offense percent, and it's got, I don't know, crit chance percent or something like that, right? If I sliced that twice and it didn't hit speed, normally, if it wasn't for the fact that I had offense percentile, I would sell it unless those 2 rolls hit offense percent. Even if they're not great percentile, like high quality rolls, I would probably still keep that and keep rolling it, because ultimately, if it's got 5 rolls of percentile offense and then I can keep slicing it to get 5 rolls of speed, I'm still quite happy with that mod. And you can flex that for any sort of set that, maybe you want something that's got high potency, or maybe you want something with high protection with also a bit of speed. But generally speaking, you don't keep anything that doesn't have some sort of speed secondary.
Yeah. Usually if I don't have, like, I'll caveat the offense sets are the ones where I'll make some exemptions on, because like characters like Malicos or Candace Ordo, they're not really worried about being the fastest characters in the game. So there are some exceptions to that. That being said, usually at 5A mods is the breaking point of that decision.
Yeah.
I might at sometimes take a mod that has very good collection of secondaries, like flat offense, percent offense, crit chance, and name a third stat on a circle. And I'm like, all right, this is worth going to 5A to see if this works, like how this rolls up. And I might slice it to that point to see what my rolls are. But if I don't have like not God tier, but like 80% or higher like offense rolls, I'm not going to take it to 6E because I'm rolling dice on getting a little bit more speed out of it. Now maybe if I get 10 speed and I've got 3 or 4 rolls into offense, I might roll dice on seeing if that will get a little bit better as I continue to go higher. But you just put yourself in a position of like, you really got to know what you're moving that mod up for before you just start dumping those resources into it. Because especially like, the 6E through 6A level ups are so expensive that it's just not really worth the heartache to make that happen unnecessarily. So you really got to be careful on that. And so you really got to know what you're moving those kind of mods up for. Like if you have a specific character in mind that could use those stats, great. Otherwise, in mass, I don't really worry about them because you just need speed, 20 times out of 10 before you need to worry about, a 7% offense mod. Are they great to have? Yeah, but numbers game long term, the more you play, the more you farm, those will accrue naturally while you're hunting speed. And since speed is king, we just wind up back at the same spot.
Where speed is king. Thank you, Rurik. Another question. How do you think the changes to Coliseum have been? I like them. I score more points. That's all I need in life.
Yeah, it feels better. It feels better. That's all I've got. But outside of that, I mean, it's still conquest. It's still Coliseum.
Yeah, it hasn't fundamentally changed how the game mode plays. It just feels better because we're able to get over that hump a little bit easier. Personally, the biggest change for me has just been having Dedra come to the game and completely changing up the way that we interact with it, because it's like, oh, you choose to either go in with ISB, which works really well until you lose Partagaz at tier 5, and then you're like, okay, well, I guess I'll go back to using the Rebels. Or you go in with your full Rebels and you're still operating in a weird situation where you don't have any sort of leadership, which is just kind of odd. But hey, I don't know. I like the rebalancing.
Yeah, it's good improvements. I like that it feels like you can a little bit earlier on get a little further, so that when you're getting to 65 for free, it doesn't feel like it's happening at the 11th hour. It feels like you're getting there a little bit sooner, which means you feel a little bit more competitive a little bit earlier, and you're not feeling so just a massive, just like, well, it's going to take 3 weeks to move 2 era levels, and then maybe I can get to tier 3.
Yeah.
So
fun times. I mean, like, ultimately, this change. It was a blanket change, right? Rising tides rises all ships, as they say, or whatever it is. So it's not actually giving you any sort of competitive advantage over other people, because everybody's progressing at the same pace, right? Provided they're actually interacting with Coliseum. But it still feels better, and I think a game mode feeling better is a benefit in and of itself. So, okay, next question from Bubba Joe. Greetings, Scribe and Karth. I come today requiring your assistance. Oh, good. You have both played other games. Don't lie. What is the one thing that you've seen implemented well in other games that would be cool, fun, or useful in Galaxy of Heroes? Karth?
Oh, God. I'd have to play other games to tell you that. I don't really play a lot of other mobile games, mostly for the sake of my finances. But
my sanity.
There's that too. I don't know. I know there are parts of how the newer mobile games have come out, like Raid and a couple other ones that that they just have more things that kind of allow them to just kind of dump out. But at the same time, there are reasons why I also like the progression and the how things move in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, because it feels a lot more deliberate, which feels a lot less of just like a constant yank on the chain of chase this thing over here, now chase that thing over there, now spend more money over here. It's just like, no, it's like, it's where we're at right now with the game, especially for me, and where I'm at is I just feel like it's it's consistent in what to expect. And I mean, I'm fine with that. There are things I would like added. I just don't know off the top of my head which features those would be
Yeah.
specifically. I would like things that make guild PvE and PvP more interesting, and more palatable and more time friendly. But at the same time, um, I don't know if there's other games that do that better, because it just seems for most games it's the more features you add, the more time you add, the more time you add, the more people just end up hating it. So
I
I
mean,
know
yeah,
there's
there
a
is that.
delicate balance of what you need to do. So I don't know. There are things I would like to add in the game. I just don't know if people are doing it better than what I'd expect, because I just don't have the experience with other games to tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to think. Obviously, the only one that I've played a couple recently, because it's my job. But I don't know. Sometimes the enjoyment just comes from playing something different more than the actual features themselves. Like I quite like roguelikes and that sort of thing. Being able to have random selections of superpowers. We've kind of got that in Conquest, but I feel like a lot of Conquest is still predicated on how good your roster is. I would like to have some sort of repeatable content that we can do in game that is fun to engage with, that isn't necessarily driven by money, and has an element of randomness to it. So being able to run through something similar to Conquest, but it's a much faster pace, that at certain points in time gives you various power-ups and collectibles, even if it's completely new in gameplay style, so it's not a turn-based combat system. It could even be almost like an arcade action RPG, and there are no rewards, but maybe there's a leaderboard in it. You can just play for fun, right? That would be just kind of cool, but I can't imagine anything like that is coming to the game.
So what we do is we turn Galactic War into a mini conquest sector.
Let's go, baby.
I mean, it would work. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I mean, again, I agree with you. There just needs to be things that engage with your roster a bit more, because like once you finish the cantina battles and the light side dark side table, there's just no reason to go back to play that content, because there isn't a mode that is like, hey, Relic 9 tier, go get cool things. Like there's just nothing for it that engages your roster in a way at the end game besides just competitive play. And so it's like, if we had smaller game modes that were, more frequent, that I could spend time on my own to engage with, that could reward me for my investment, like basically make like a personal raid. Let's just say for concept idea, you turn Galactic War into a personal raid. And so if you clear it, you get 2 Gerdas and 2 droid brains and a smattering of other relic materials. And that resets every other day.
Yeah.
I would be happy with that. Like I get 48 hours to try to bust through the sector, and then I set the difficulty based on what my roster is capable of. So like, okay, I think I'm capable of the Relic 9 tier because I have 180 Relic 9s. Let's go. Let's see what happens. But do something with it that kind of, progresses the people, and you get a way to engage with your account, because that was when I first started playing the game. That was always what engaged me into develop new teams and to finesse characters and learn kits, was trying to, I would reach a point where the content was difficult and I couldn't just do it. So then I had to retool what I was doing. It's like, I get sometimes that's not always the best feature, but you could really easily remake a couple of the old game modes and something like that for the personal player to experience, and then they can go test out their roster. To get the best rewards, you got to have the best investments. And hell, man, that's CG's making money at that point. They can't lose. Like, Jesus Christ, to have a roster with like more than 50 R9s at this junction, like, you're putting money into the game. Like, I'm sorry, like there's very little ways around that unless you happen to get to like one of the mod guilds, a free to play account. Like, it's very hard to have that level of income to support that. And so anyways, that's kind of what I wish that they would do, is retool some of their old assets into new playables, even if it's singular person, or create a team. Me and 5 people from my ally list go and do this fight, and we get like 48 hours to try to get a best score that we can.
You play live together, everybody plays one member, and they have to select their own moves. Could you imagine how long that would take?
Something tells me Scrab and I are no longer going to be friends.
What the fuck? Why did you call him to assist, you dickhead? Yeah.
Click the goddamn button.
Koth, stop peeing. I need you to assist.
Dude, honest to God, that's like when I used to play Magic the Gathering online, is like when the other player walks away and you have to sit through the 2-minute countdown. Oh my God.
And you're like, for
nothing
fuck's
makes
sake.
me rage faster in life than being forced to wait because somebody else can't do anything. It's like, all right, this is how the world ends. Just me being rage baited into setting off nukes.
All right, good question. Moving on. Viperine asks, who do you think will be the next Conquest and next GL? I mean, we get this question like every week. We kind of spoke about next Conquest earlier.
Yeah. Next GL, I feel is going to be a Mando and Grogu style character. Light side scoundrels, light side Mandalorian, something like that is where my head kind of sits.
Yeah, it would tie into everything, to be honest. Yeah.
That's where my head goes, is that it makes the most sense from that perspective for them to do something based around the movie that will release shortly after the era starts. So there should be enough information there that they should be able to release the first month's worth of content without any real big spoilers, and then can get the rest of it out the door once the movie drops, and we can be like, okay, now that the movie has been released, here's what we're doing. So I feel like that's the easy shoe in, because they've done a lot to kind of tie into current media, and so that's the biggest stuff going on right now. If I had to gamble, that would be kind of where my money would be placed on, is light side GL from that new movie.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense to me. I mean, I've said it many times. I think the next GL is going to be Mando and Grogu based. Probably Mando and Grogu, if I were to guess. And it could, lead Bo-Katan's team or something. Not that there's anything wrong with Bo-Katan Mandalore, but hey, she can have a boost. Why not? Conquest would probably be a unit to go ahead and support it, because I would rather them get the Conquest unit out now, so that by the time the end of the era comes, the unit is ready and in our roster. That would be useful, instead of appearing after the fact.
Well, yeah, it just depends how they design the team, because it's like, for me, if they do the Conquest unit supporting the new GL team, then please, Legendary, support the other side of the coin, so that we're not getting like a new GL and then a new Journey Guide character and a new Conquest unit all on the same team. I'm gonna be like, this thing is gonna be the top of the meta,
the tip top of the top
on everything. Oh God, but yeah,
I'm okay with that, to be honest.
I mean, I am right until Leia beats it.
Because at this point, Leia beats everything.
Well, the big thing on you can't impact cooldowns really helps. Turn meter reduction or turn meter regeneration only throttles them into doing more things. And then the fact that the AI gets stuck on the AdRad gen loop forever, that it's just so easy to exploit. It's just like, because like in reality, Leia would suffer a whole lot more versus Glatt if you couldn't abuse that team comp of Adrad and Jin. So
yeah, it's true. It's a bit of a gnarly comp, to be fair.
So yeah, but yeah, that's where my head goes to the next GL, and we've spoken at length already about Conquest. So I don't need to read.
We have indeed. Okay, so thank you, Viperine. Next question comes from Mr. Roy. Hi, Tribers. Have you seen the latest trailer of the new Harry Potter series on HBO? What are your thoughts about that? If we ever need a movie or show to have a reboot of, which would it be? Okay, I don't know how
Harry
much... Well, we're already getting one of those, Garth.
I know.
Come on.
I didn't need to have where I'm already at with
Um, I don't know if you like Harry Potter, Garth. I mean, what's
I
your
love the
stance?
original show or
Hmm.
the original movies. I have I have no interest in retreading the same ground.
Yeah, it's fair.
Like I don't really care about a reimagining of a story I already know. Like if you're gonna do a new something off of that, do a spinoff that is, a what if version, or hey, this is, you know, James and Lily Potter, and now we're gonna see how they grew up and
Well,
how the formations of
if
stuff.
if I was to have
Right?
anything, it would be give me a TV series around the Marauders. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah.
James, Sirius, Lupin, and and Wormtail, whilst they were in go, follow them as they go through Hogwarts, as they go into adulthood, as brief as it was. That would be way
Yeah.
cooler to me. I'd like to see a prequel series on that. That would be sick.
Yeah.
But sorry,
Well,
keep
and
going.
that's the thing too. Like, well, that's the thing is like that's why I believe the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, that kind of did a lot better to a degree.
Hmm.
Now, granted, it suffers from a lot of trying to do a prequel on a much later than when the original series aired, because there's just so much more that you can do on screen now that you couldn't do
Hmm.
during the first running of the show. So well, we don't know as much, but we're doing a lot more. Interesting. Anyways, not the point. Um, the the over under on it is that I like sci-fi reboots, like a Firefly is doing a
Oh yeah,
reboot.
doing an anime, right?
Yeah, they're doing an animated series because it's their only way to get around a lot of the problems they caused when the show ended.
Hmm.
The movie kind of killed off one of the main characters, and people
Yeah,
really
Wash.
want him back. Yeah, and so it's like there are things that that's how they're choosing. Well, that and the actors are 30 years older, and so how do you go back in time, and
Yeah,
how do you make characters that are this much older than their characters are look the same without just copious amounts of CGI and makeup
yeah,
or whatever else. Anyways, I don't mind doing that as a way to circumvent those things. I don't mind things of that nature, but it's like when you're doing something within the universe, when you're trying to create a show or a reboot or anything within the universe, you need to separate it with plausibility away from whatever you're trying to be familiar with.
hmm,
Because when you try to emulate too closely to what already exists, you will always be met with fan backlash no matter what you do. I mean, that was the issue that the Acolyte faced in a lot of regards, besides just being god awful writing. Um, there's too many things that people have something to compare it with, and then your show starts to suffer on technicalities than overall quality, versus you don't have anything to compare it to. You let a lot of things more slide more easily. It's like watching episode 4, 5, and 6 initially, and then coming back and watching 1, 2, and 3 or whatever else. A lot of people like who started with the episode 1, 2, and 3 and then went to 4, 5, and 6, they have different viewpoints on
yeah,
those movies because of where they were introduced to it. And so I think the problem for a lot of reboots now is they're trying to always target a new audience, but fail to remember that the new audience is going to go there with their parents, and their parents know something completely different, and you're not going to
yeah,
win them over. I mean, it's why Rings of Power is struggling so hard to break out of what they are, because everybody who's going to go watch a Lord of the Rings film is in their 30s or
yep.
40s.
Pushing
Like
it. I'm pushing it.
they've read the books, they know the lore, they're interested in what's happening and things being accurate, and you're just out there going, meh, we don't care. We want this to be taking place this way because, well, it has to be part of the times. I'm like, no, homie, it's a fantasy world. Why does it have to conform to current society? That's why we go to fantasy, to escape reality, not to relive it. Anyways, I digress from that. It's just there are so many things that I feel like you're gonna watch be constant problems with reboots, because they
Yeah,
are trying to target an audience that doesn't exist yet and recapture people that are already interested, and then it goes poorly. And so it's like if you're ever going to reboot something properly, you need to be able to step away from stuff far enough away to make things give you the room to write. You know, that's always been the problem with like the Clone Wars era and things of that nature, and that's why they were successful in some areas, is because they focused on characters that you knew could die at any time, right? It wasn't, you know, whenever there's an episode with Obi-Wan or Anakin, or even, you know, you knew they couldn't die. They have their places where their stories are written. But like Ahsoka, to a degree, until Rebels came out, she could have died at any point during Clone Wars. They had that option. I mean, and Lucas fervently wanted to kill her multiple times. And
he really hated
Filoni,
that bitch.
Well, I mean, he wanted to. I mean, for a lot of reasons, yes. But yeah, they actually gave stakes to it. That's the problem with most current stuff, is that when you try to redo this, your interest is dying because there's no stakes. When there's no stakes, there's nothing to really be invested into, and that, you know, that's harder for people to be involved with. And so if you're ever going to do stuff with fantasy, you need to be like, we're Star Wars brand, but we're not related to those Star Wars. Like, that's what Mando season 1 was so successful, because it was so far unique, away from the Star Wars we've been pelted with for the last, you know, 30 years. You know, we don't have a Force user. We don't have, you know, these heroic characters that are against all odds or succeeding and changing the galaxy. It's just, no, it's homie collecting thug nut over there for a $2,000 bounty so that he can feed himself tomorrow. Like, that's it. And there's a bit of that people really enjoyed. And I mean, that's why it was as successful as it was. And then they quickly ruined it by trying to treat it as a Star Wars multiverse and Avengers type setup. And it's just like, Star Wars was never built for that. Otherwise it would have already existed. So anyway, I'll stop.
So the question, Garth, was, did you watch it? Did you enjoy it?
No, I did not.
I did not watch it. I did not enjoy it.
I only saw the one standstill photo of the new Snape, and I
mean, that's the whole thing, right?
That's the whole thing. But again, it's the problem I have with rewriting over existing content. You just eliminate. You're trying to basically force people to forget about what they know and love. And then, I mean, that's the worst thing. That poor actor is going to get obliterated when that show comes out, because he will never live up to Alan Rickman. Never. No. So when that's your yardstick, it doesn't matter how well you perform.
Yeah, he's got a real tough job ahead of him, unfortunately.
He's got and so it's just like, you are setting up an actor for such great failure. Forget about the other dumb things going on with the reasons why people are not happy with that character. It's just that you're putting him in a position to where you have such a great yardstick to measure against that they're going to fall short. And there is nothing that they could ever do to surpass that, because you're not dealing with as a renowned actor that's taking into the role. And so it's like, you don't have somebody that commands their respect. It's going to drive the interest of a new iteration of that character. You have somebody who you're just throwing into the meat grinder to see what happens, because, well, we just wanted something different. I'm like, yeah, but have you read the books? Have you read the description of Snape?
Yeah, he's not. The skin tone might be a little bit different. Yeah, is what I'd say.
Yeah. You're just intentionally causing conflict and strife, and it's just like there was no reason for that. It's just an intentional thing to drive up buzz, and the poor actor is going to get just obliterated because of it. And they did nothing wrong. They're probably going to give a fairly decent performance of the character.
I'm sure they will. He's a good actor, apparently.
You just have so much to compare him against that it's just like you're just begging for failure. But anyways,
well, I mean, he hasn't even been on the screen yet, and people are already, already giving him shit. So it's
Haven't watched it. Don't have any strong thoughts about it. I can give opinions for all day because apparently I'm very good at that part of the job.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll give the contrasting opinion then. I have watched it. I'm a massive Harry Potter fan. I have been, like, since I read the first book when I was a wee lad, when I was like 11 years old. So I grew up with Harry Potter in the sense of I grew up as Harry Potter grew up. You know, as I was reading the books, we were the same age. It was great. So I loved the books, and I never really enjoyed the films, especially like the first couple of films. Like, I feel like they started off pretty weak, and
Oh yeah, of course.
some of the problems with the films in the later end of it is the books get exponentially larger as the series goes on, but a film has to be like 2 to 3 hours long max. You're not going to sit down and watch a 6-hour film. I mean, I probably would, you know, like an unabridged film version, right? So obviously, as someone who loved the books, it's not that I disliked the films. It was just like I preferred the books because you get so much more from a book.
Well, what about this part and that part and the thing over there? And they never mentioned this.
Yeah, and that person didn't say that. You know, all that sort of crap, right?
Or, yeah, the fact that Ron's a bumbling idiot most of the movie, and then in the reality, he's actually like they were actually pretty equal in power and competency, and
pretty much.
Hermione wasn't the one witch wonder, and Harry wasn't as idiotic as he's portrayed sometimes in the movie, or as genius as he's portrayed sometimes in the movies. And so it's like, there are lots of difference,
right? So for me, when I watched it, honestly, when I first heard about it, I was like, okay, because I will watch and listen to any new Harry Potter stuff that comes out, right? So I listen to all the audiobooks. They're still releasing at the moment. They've done full cast audio editions of the audiobooks, and it's got quite a lot of famous people doing various roles. I wouldn't say everybody does a great job, but there are some really good roles in there. So I watched it and I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance. I saw the whole casting choices thing and I'm like, okay, you know, fuck it. I can't agree with it just because, I mean, fuck's sake, Snape is described as being pale. And they're like, what's the opposite of that? You know, it's not a racial thing at all. It's just like, he's supposed to look like a fucking vampire. You know what I mean? Like that, he's described as an overgrown bat flapping around the school. Whatever, right? But I saw the trailer and I was like, it feels like Kid Harry has got some acting chops, from what I can tell. It feels like the old films, and I know that's a pro and a con. Some people are like, "Oh, why are you remaking it if it looks exactly like the old films?" I was like, nothing wrong with the old films in terms of aesthetic. You know, it felt like Harry Potter. So I'll watch anything new, and given the opportunity for a TV series can flesh out a lot more of a plot, provided they do actually stay truthful to the plot line, I'll be quite happy. But who knows? Who knows? Need time.
I have no hopes.
I have zero hope. Any movie or show you would like to see a reboot of?
No, I don't like reboots. I mean, like
Fair.
I don't mind if they pick up a show. Like I know they've done it with Frasier, and I know they've done it with King of the Hill. They've done it with a couple other ones that they've done successful reboots by literally not trying to restart the show, but picking up the show with as much time since the last time it aired, right?
Yeah.
Because there's Frasier as a new, I don't know if it's a new show or what part it takes place, but like there's one where he's now basically playing his father's role in his son's life.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's a nice take.
So you're watching somebody who's gone from his 40s to his mid 60s now, who's now re-emulating the show, but from like the father's perspective, but just kind of the same concept. And those have been successful because they aren't trying to rewrite history. They're just trying to go, okay, it's been 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Things have changed. Life happens. People adjust and move on. That's kind of why Scrubs is working as well, is because it's the same idea. They're the same characters that we grew up with and we love, but we're also seeing, 20 years of these characters takes its toll. They do different things. They have different aspirations. JD and Elliot were crazy together. Why would we assume that at the end of season 8, when they finally get back together, they kind of sort their lives back out, that they wouldn't be crazy again, that wouldn't happen. They wouldn't end up getting divorced after they got together and whatever else. Like there are things that you can logically infer. You're not necessarily happy with it, because that was the whole point of season 8, was to kind of end on a happy note of them getting together. But 20 years later, if they were as crazy as they were during the 8 years we saw them on TV, you could kind of infer that. So it's like those kinds of reboots I like because it gives logical jumps to where we're at. But when you just try to go back and rewrite history into, well, forget about everything you've already seen and known and read and whatever else. We want to do it. We want to do it again, but different for today's time.
Because
like,
reasons.
If that is your sole purpose for recreating a show that somebody has grown up with or been a part of, then it's always going to fall flat. I mean, they're never successful. So I don't really like reboots for that reason. I'd rather you just go, hey, especially in sci-fi, it's like, you want to do a new Battlestar Galactica? Great. Just sidestep to a different part of the universe. Like that's the thing with Star Wars. Star Wars is so huge.
It is.
And you're telling me we can't, for the life and limb and liberty, escape Coruscant.
No, dude, you have to be somewhere in the vicinity of Tatooine, okay?
Yeah.
Like somehow, either on the planet or in orbit around it, okay?
Yeah. Somehow we always wind up in that fucking dust ball. It's just like, why can't we go to another planet and explore? Like, I get Kashyyyk as it was in episode 3, but I mean, like that was what I liked about Fallen Order, is like exploring the Shadowlands as Cal Kestis kind of thing. Like in KOTOR 1, we explored Kashyyyk from the forest floor kind of perspective, and that goes from a very much of a vibe of like, oh well, it's just one big giant treehouse party, to like a thriller horror film, because it's like you don't know what giant creature is going to try to come kill you here in a little bit. And so it's like, that's kind of I appreciate when you see something similar but from different perspective. But just trying to rinse and repeat Mos Eisley for 30 years is getting very taxing.
Yeah, even with the Cantina band, it's a whole thing.
Can they not get a new album? That's all I'm asking for. Yeah, really riding the coattails of that one. Anyways, we got to get through this. We're already...
Yeah, sorry. We are getting distracted. New take on Coliseum. We've already kind of gone through this. Changes, or does it need more adjustment? I think the balancing is fine in terms of difficulty. I'd like more leaderships. CG isn't communicating a lot lately. Are they saving for May the 4th? I think so. I genuinely think we're going to see something on May 4th. So,
I genuinely feel like we kind of knew that going into the start of the new era system, was that the first 6 months were just going to be, let's see how it goes, and then they'll make minor adjustments, and then they'll start adding in bigger features. But I feel like that's what they've been working on, is adding more into the era system, and as they do, it'll get better. But I feel like that was why we saw so little adjust between the first and second era, and I think we'll see little adjustments as well because in the second and the third, but we might actually see a new feature or new boss battles on this one, because there's a lot more to tie into, this cool thing called then all the Star Wars content that's dropping that they would be really foolish to just ignore. So I feel like that would change.
I mean, May 4th usually does come with big stuff, right? It's how we got Gungan's Queen Amidala. It's how we got a new raid twice, in fact. We got Nightfall Era. So it's like, I definitely feel like they are saving for that. I'm just, what I'm worried is if it drops and nothing comes, because I'm like, okay, we've just got a new era and nothing else.
Things to spend money on.
Pretty much. And break. So I hope so. Okay, so next question comes from Sonda. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Sonda. A lot of people talk about the number of dark and light side GLs needing to be equal. This often comes up when folks are speculating about what the next Galactic Legend will be. Is this something that CG has stated in the past, or is it for thematic reasons, balance in the Force and all that? Just something I've always been curious about. I don't think they've ever commented saying we always look to have one light side, one dark side, and they haven't always released one light side, dark side. There was one occasion where we got back-to-back dark side GLs. I think it was like Jabba Lord Vader or something like that.
Yeah, but that was the smallest of technicalities in the world. Is basically that was their way of going, hey, we realize dropping both at the same time is incredibly taxing on your rosters, but to be fair, they designed JMK and Lord Vader as a duo, and then just separated the release out to more adequately allow time for people to pursue the newest GL, because that was what they when they made that announcement, that was on the backs of because they were our third set, because we went Ray and Slacker, JML and C, and then it was Lord Vader and JMK. And basically they were like, yeah, we realize there's a lot to farm all at one time, and most people don't have adequate time to farm, and so they wanted to split them up and go back and forth. But for the most part, thematically, they came in duos on the first ones, and they mirrored each other. So you had the galactic conflict was the mirror. So Ray and Slacker and JML and Sith Eternal, and then JMK and Lord Vader. And that was kind of, they carried that through up to Jabba. They did Jabba and Leia as kind of the mirrored effects, because they're both episode 6 iterations of the characters. And then after that, we kind of decided that didn't matter anymore, and we've been following this cadence of, we get a light side, then we get a dark side, then we get a light side. So it's kind of goes back and forth. Did I forget to finish climbing? Nope, I did. Look at me go. I can multitask very poorly.
Yeah, it's okay. We're all like this, I think, Garth.
Let's see, because we went Jabba into Leia, and then Leia into Ahsoka, and then Ahsoka into Hondo. So I mean, they don't necessarily have to alternate back and forth. Technically speaking, we've gone 2 darks in a row, 2 lights in a row, and then a dark. So it doesn't have to be a light side GL coming up next. But I think a lot of people would see the pattern alternate back and forth. But the reason why everyone speculates a light side GL is because the next dark side GL is almost certainly got to be Thrawn. And it doesn't feel right for Thrawn to release this year. So I think that's why a lot of people are speculating that the next one's going to be light side, to basically buy time for Thrawn to be able to be released properly at the pinnacle of his power back in the universe before, the Battle of Jakku ensues. And so that's where I think a lot of people are defaulting to the line of thought of a light side GL being the next GL, just because it buys time for Thrawn. Because if Thrawn comes this year, it doesn't seem like he would be at the pinnacle of his power.
No, because he hasn't.
Peridia.
we haven't seen his character arc yet, really.
Yeah.
So it would be a little bit odd.
It's just the speculation on it, is that people feel that's the case.
Yeah.
Otherwise, usually back and forth. It's kind of the same idea with ships. We got the Executor, then the Profundity, then the Leviathan, and so it's like, well, we need a light side to kind of balance out the fleet meta, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way.
No, it doesn't have to happen. It just usually does.
Yeah, usually that way. That's all.
Yeah. Okay, good question. Bubba Joe asks, one more question for the Tribe Bros. As a whale who has more or less ignored Old Republic, save for Revan and Salbar, who is deserving of relic levels, and to what limit, to prepare for the impending release of Satil, both thinking for 3s, 5s, and Territory War? Okay, so he is. I think I'm guessing from that he's invested in Revan and Zalbar.
Yeah. But I mean, the reality is probably minimum you're going to want to do is R7 on the team. Because like, Juhani is great with the Stranger inside of TW, so that's not a bad invest for TW purposes. Mission, I wouldn't push past 7 just to kind of get the relic level up. She'll be good in TW with Satil, but I mean, I wouldn't call it the greatest shoe in for a 5th. After that, you're just looking at the basic survivability of the characters and pushing up the fact that like they're gonna do damage based on her max protection, and that protection that's going to be heavily influenced on the team. So you get the most gain on a lot of those characters by going to higher relic levels. Relic 9 is where you start getting protection added into those characters. So there's some question for that, but I mean, the reality is we're gonna wait and see what the freaking cron does for her, and then that will tell us basically how much we want to push beyond that. But I would say at a minimum, you're probably gonna want a Relic 7 team, because like so many of those characters need to survive, and if they start falling off early to either Relic Delta or just lack of stats to work on, then you're gonna really be punished. And so the biggest thing with most of the team is that your stat scaling is going to be most greatly impacted by your relic investment. But if you're going to be trying to take down Relic 7, Relic 8 teams, I think Satele needs every advantage she can get to kind of adequately overcome a lot of her weak points. So I would say R7. R7's where I would go. If you, especially with everything else coming down the pike, I don't know if I would want to over invest into Satele Shan at the moment. But
no, I think it really depends on the state of your roster. Like, if you haven't finished off a load of other farms, I don't think she's a massive priority, until we see what her Datacron looks like anyway. But we're not going to see that for some time yet. So yeah. Next question comes from, what's Karth's alt account name? I'm in the 3700 range. I want to know if it's about time I'm about to get slapped. That's from Lausch, I think.
Yeah, I already responded back in your own chat.
Ah, yes. It is the Weiston account.
Yep.
I believe. So good luck should you face him. Good luck indeed. Finally.
A day where I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that can happen. Finally, Lausch asks, what's the best way in your opinion to punch up efficiently against Wales in Kyber 1? Message them and tell them that you will transfer over them $10 worth of crystals, and they'll probably throw the game.
The crystals is more than what the match will net you.
Yeah.
The reality is when you're punching up against Wales, especially in Kyber 1, you honestly need to get really good at playing efficiency. That's the best way to do it. The best player I know at that is Tom Ford. I know there's probably other players.
Is he not a whale?
I don't think he spends.
Wow,
at all.
That's wild.
I want to say that's the case. I don't know that for certain. But it becomes about efficiency. It becomes about banner pinching. It becomes about getting, like when you're playing, you'll drag out the battle for an extra minute to recover that banner on that fight to make sure you're getting your 65s, or you're going to learn how to underman things or take teams that can more effectively underman so that you can recover a banner on the board. Because I mean, like, that's the thing. If you look at it from this perspective, if you could effectively recover, if you could underman a 4v5 on every single offense and you could do it cleanly, you could get yourself another 11 banners on the board. And so that's what really comes into punching up versus Wales, because you're not really going to have access to anything that's going to stump them for the most part, unless they're, especially in Kyber 1, most of the Wales in that actually know what the hell they're doing. They're not going to just sit there. But for most Wales, they're not going to care much about his efficiency, because you're letting the weight of your roster be the force to reckon with, not really your aptitude with the game. And so when you get to that level, it's all about efficiency. You have to spend every single battle going, what is the banner? What is the team? What is the counter for this team that is going to get me a 65 9 times out of 10? What is the team that is going to let me regenerate banners to make sure that instead of getting a 60, I'm getting a 65 for a counter? You might get messy, but when it's down to like Glat versus a 5-man Leia team, what's going to get me back up there? Making sure you take the time to, use the abilities right, so that you're ending the Glat fight with the alt, or same with a Java fight, ending with the alt so that you get the full health and protection recovery. So it's things like that that really become a huge important part of your gameplay style that really was what going to set you different against these bigger players. But that's basically the way to punch up efficiently against Wales is to play way more efficiently, because you're not going to beat them on anything else. You can't, invest into the right team enough. You can't invest enough in the Datacrons, that's going to give you an answer against them that they don't already have against you.
Mhm.
It's literally about how cleanly you play every match. You go defense light. You don't put your meta fleets on defense. You try to do every single fight that you can for 65 or better. You're trying to get 75s in fleet all the time. And that dictates where your relic investments go. That dictates a lot of what you do. You try to put one or two teams that might catch them off guard. If you have access to the Omega bot or insights on GAC, you can kind of see what they struggle with on occasion. Try to set one or two of those teams down. Try to bait them out when you can, and then play as clean a game as you can against them on offense. And that's basically how you win against whales that have everything, and you're just kind of scraping by. Outside of that, if money can buy it,
they got it.
They'll have the advantage on you. So it's only about how you play the game. So barring that, you better do nothing but eat, sleep, and pray mods. Like that's the only other thing that you can have on them because mods you can't effectively whale that well on. They did start allowing us to buy the 15s, but the 25s and the 20s and stuff like that, that's always going to be how well can you farm your mod depth and your mod game overall. And so those are the two areas where, as a free to play player or even a light spender, where you need to focus on if you want to punch up effectively against bigger accounts, is your mod depth, and then how well and how efficiently you play on offense.
There you go. Yes, I largely agree. If you're going to go up against large whales, you do have to find out how do you actually banner pinch. How do you go in and score more on average than they're going to score? And that's a difficult thing to do. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Learn not to drop any battles. is one. Don't drop a battle, because usually that means it's game over straight away.
Yeah. It usually comes down to one taps, and then once you get to one taps, you got to go to efficiency. And that's where, like Tasnix does, you got to scout, you got to put in the legwork to punch up it like that. You got to scout your opponent. You got to know what they constantly set, so that you can plan your attack board around that adequately. And then you got to know what they struggle against, what teams they don't have a good time with, what do they try to use against it, and how can you possibly mess up that counter that they're going to use. There's a lot of nuance that goes into it, depending on nitty gritty you want to get in GAC, if you really want to get sweaty try hard against the bigger whale accounts. But as I've come to the conclusion on, I'd rather just buy the $12 in crystals for the week than think about this game for 3 hours. So I used to be that way. There was a time where I was inside the top 8 in Kaiser 1, but
I recall those days.
But it really has come down to the fact that I just I'd rather not waste the 3 or 4 hours doing all that research and planning it out, and sometimes still lose, where I can just use my wallet to soothe my aches and pains in life. So
yeah, I mean,
but
R10 packs, that works.
Yeah, a lot of them.
A whole lot of R10s.
One day, the weight of my roster will be the crushing force against anyone below like 15 million GP, and just be like, welcome to the R10 defense or Relic 12 defense. Get screwed, you nerds.
Get delted, bitch.
Yeah. Delta over D's nuts.
Good times. I think that's actually all of our questions, ladies and gentlemen.
All of our questions. And somehow we still wound up running half an hour long.
Well, we did. I think it's because we had a Karth in the chat, and this stuff happened. It is what it is.
The TISM started piloting, and we just got stuck on a few rabbit holes.
Yeah. The TISM was there. It was real, but it was real fun as well. So good times. Anything else you want to discuss, Karth, before we call it an evening?
Oh no,
so many things.
Well, there's that. There is that. But outside of that, no, I need to go on to the next one.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening at home. And I'll see you tomorrow for GAC. From myself and from Garth, good evening. Enjoy yourselves. See you soon. Good night.